That's actually pretty good.
Oh,
That's
dude, that's hilarious.
all right. So listen, let's get down to this a bit. Obviously, to moderate Democrats, I do air quotes when it comes to moderate. I'm sorry, moderate Republicans, and I do air quotes around both. But to rhinos, Republicans in name only, to moderate Republicans, there's a lot that's appealing about a Jeb Bush candidacy to the establishment, right? On the other hand, to conservatives, there's a whole bunch that's it's just like not the worst nightmare, but a really bad dream, man.
Yep.
So let me just hit this just for a second. This was what he did, y'all. Is by the way, we do not say y'all in Indianapolis. I just try to mess with you, Michael. But so Bush just I think just last week said he was within a short period of time, in short order, he said, was going to was thinking about it and was going to make a decision. And I don't remember exactly where I read that. It makes no difference. It was all over. But it kind of sounded like within, a month, certainly by the end of the year. And here he is, less than a week later. So what he did this morning, he put a message on his Facebook page. And let me just, for the hell of it, because this is monumental, man. Like I told you, I'm really pumped up here.
Yeah.
He says, Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, Wiccan's Day, whatever. No, that's not fair. But he says, like many of you, our family was blessed with the opportunity to gather together over the recent Thanksgiving holiday. I'm reading this because this is his reason for running. Columba and I are so proud of the wonderful adults and our children that our children have become, blah, 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 blah. So goes through the whole thing and the good food and everything. We also talked about the future of our nation. Now, most of us would do that over Thanksgiving dinner. As a result of these conversations and thoughtful consideration of the kind of strong leadership I think America needs, and here are the words I put in the headline, I have decided to actively explore the possibility of running for president of the United States. So as if, Michael, he wasn't already actively exploring it in the first place, right?
Well, maybe there's different levels of active.
Exploration, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You've got your minor active, and then you've got your medium active, and then your active,
And
and then
then you're radioactive.
you're super duper active, and you're super extra very active, and on and on and on and on.
Well, and see, I'm not going to read the rest of this because he doesn't say anything in terms of why he's doing this. I mean, he does talk about establishing a political a PAC to raise money and travel around the country and meet with many of you and have conversations and all whatever have you. But he doesn't. Where does he fit? I mean,
Well,
was it Hugh Hewitt? You were reading the tweets who said in this year it's about amnesty, so then we run Bush. I mean, where exactly does Jeb Bush fit into the equation in terms of being possibly marketable?
okay, well, you know what? I mean, the very last thing I'm ever interested in ever is to hear a politician explain why. Well, I think I'm uniquely qualified to
Oh,
call
exactly.
us.
But what does he offer relative to his policies that could gain some traction, particularly with a conservative? Well, it's a very divided party right now. I don't see it. I don't know what it is.
Well,
Other than his position on amnesty, by the way.
well, I think he probably thinks of himself as a well. First of all, to he's a longtime politician with that family, so obviously he's got
Right.
a sense of political entitlement that's massive. I also think he sees the problem with the Republican Party is the Tea Party folks, the Mark Levin folks, the constitutional conservative folks, and on and on and on. And he sees himself as somebody who has the ability to work across the aisle, to forge a moderate, middle of the road, sensible, reasonable position on all the important issues, because that's really what excites people.
Well,
Is not that's what I think.
okay, but by and large, that's exactly what John McCain thought. And Yeah, one could have, well, I was going to say Obama could have argued, or did argue it to an extent from the other side in 2008. But of course, we all know how that worked out. But I mean, when you look at at divisive issues as it relates to conservatism, the conservative base, which we know what a lot of them did in 2012, which is why Barack Obama principally was reelected. The amnesty thing. Bush is on record as saying let's not talk about defunding Obamacare or repealing it. Let's let it do its thing, and then let people vote down the road accordingly. I mean, the guy's pro Common Core. I mean, when you go down the list of his positions, and I paid attention to him for a while, I just do not see, other than this run to the middle, pretend once again as a party to be, in effect, Democrat lights, and then maybe we'll win. I mean, I'm sorry, I'm with Ann Coulter on this. It just doesn't work. It hasn't worked, and I don't think it will work with Jeb. And I think he's an outstanding man. I just don't think it's going to work this time either.
No, I don't. I mean, we're so very, 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 very far into been there, done thatville, in my opinion.
There's no question. I mean, and again, boy, Levin just went off. You and I both like Levin. I don't know if you saw his recent. He's got something up, maybe from the show yesterday. He's had the flu for a while, but man, did he go off on the Republicans and Boehner and the so-called moderates for caving in once again, to Obama on this massive $1.1 trillion spending bill. And his target this time was the 24 Republicans in the Senate who voted with the Democrats and by extension with Obama. And he says, I'm 1 inch from leaving the party, which, that's so what, I mean, here or there. But I think conservatives, and you don't have to be as far right, dare I say, as Mark Levin, but I think conservative America is really fed up with Republicans who say one thing and then vote another way. And I'm leery of Jeb when it comes to that.
Yeah, exactly. Rush has said this before, that when conservative principles are well articulated in a passionate manner, they always win.
Hashtag Ronald Reagan.
Hashtag a slew of candidates, but moderately mushy, middle of the road, reach across the aisle. I've been here a long time, and I can work with the other side to productively coalesce together for the good of Americans. No.
No. You and I have talked about that with several guests. I talked about, and again, I'm not name dropping here, and maybe I've said it before, but when I was at CPAC, and Emily and I were in the small group with Cruz, and I asked him specifically, 8 feet away from me, do you fear that once again in 2012 the Republicans will play whose turn is it? And he got this kind of Ted Cruz smile on his face, and he said, kind of understated, he said, "I hope not." And then he went on and gave a Ted Cruz answer. But again, I fear that I hope not as well, but I fear that's going to happen all over again.
Okay, so now that that's done, then we need to talk about who we think would be really good candidates for his vice presidential ticket then. I'm thinking now along the same kind of lines. Well, we could go with Susan Collins.
Okay.
She'd be good. We could go with Rick Santorum. He would be good.
I think, listen, I agree with most everything that he believes, but I think he's, here I go violating a bit of my own rule. I think he is a bit polarizing. And there's the old thought that a vice president can't win an election for you, but he very well might take enough votes away to lose it. That one I wouldn't go with Santorum.
Well, the reason, I'm suggesting those whom I think would be disastrous.
Oh,
Susan
okay.
Collins
All
is a
right. Okay.
moderate.
Oh,
I
absolutely.
think.
Got it. Got it. Got it.
Got it. I think Rick. Yeah, what I'm doing here, Mark, is I'm inserting sarcasm and humor.
Well, I
So
thought you were actually in favor of Collins, and I was trying to.
no, if you wouldn't mind playing along with
All right, I'll
my
play. All right, I'll
genius
play
here,
along. I'll play along.
Santorum, because although he does speak like he wants to be a politician, I believe what he really wants to do is to be head pastor.
There you go. Pastor in chief.
Right. So then we maybe could get Todd Aiken to be his vice presidential candidate. That would be another option that comes to mind.
Yeah.
Um, oh God! It would have been great if I could. Who was the Republican switch to Democrat from Pennsylvania?
Oh,
Oh, you know who I'm talking about.
oh, not no. You see immediately, and he's dead. And the Arlen Specter is the guy.
I was going to say Arlen Specter. Well, the fact that he's not living might even make him more of an attractive candidate for
Well,
the
see,
moderate middle.
there you could go. Because at least he couldn't go out on the trail and get him in trouble.
Yes, and you know another guy that would be really good. The only problem, of course, is the state with which in which he lives, and that would be Charlie Crist. Charlie Crist would be
See,
a
I was going to
perfect.
say that exactly because Charlie could flip on a dime and just become a Republican again, and I think that might be a winning ticket.
Well, you know what? I would have to guess that as long as Charlie Crist has been uh, vacillating politically, he's had to have earned enough of a war chest financially to have purchased himself a second home somewhere. So maybe a la Scott Brown, he's got residency established in a different state. He could declare in that state, and he would be therefore an eligible vice presidential candidate for the ticket.
I think you know what. Again, I think we are on the. I think we're on the right path here, which I think maybe Jeb needs to hire us, and just as advisors, man, because you and I are thinking deeply into this now.
Yeah, you know what? That's as I was saying. I did absolutely no show prep today because I've been actively working on these speeches that he asked me to do. And here's the problem: is that I'm trying to put in the words nonpartisan, non-reactionary, reasonable, moderate, and the phrase across the aisle into every single paragraph.
Well,
But
and I think
also,
you need to get some emotional words in there. Caring, empathetic, and things. Because let's face it, we as a party, generally not thought of by the left as being ultra caring. So, with Jeb and his feelings towards amnesty and Common Core and being, backing off Obamacare, he obviously is demonstrating that he is very caring, Michael.
right. You know what we need to do also? We need to think about a tagline. George Bush desecrated the word conservatism when he added the word compassionate in front of it. So maybe moderate conservatism or reasonable conservatism.
Hmm.
We need to think because don't you think that Jeb Bush should take some sort of modifier?
Oh, I think he would. I think, we got to have conservative in there, but we definitely need a descriptor that shows caring. But because let's face it, if he has a chance in hell, he has to really, really, as you say, really, really distance himself from the stupid cowboy living in Crawford, Texas.
Yeah,
So,
exactly.
listen, we got our work cut out for us. But I think we can put together not only a winning ticket, but a winning campaign, a few slogans, do some campaign ads. I think we got it, man.
Yeah, I'm really excited, Mike, because
I am too.
it's one thing for us to be, commentators and pundits. It's another thing to be employed by perhaps the most exciting political campaign of
The
well, I'd
21st century for sure. Listen, we're out of time. Bottom of the half hour. Bottom of
Are you kidding me?
the right mics, Mike Miller, Michael Hausen. We'll be right back. Don't go away.